So hey class, you guys have been asking for it for a while. We're gonna try to do a pet photography shoot at my house. I'm just gonna use the garage. You can see I'm in the garage, a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm gonna set up the backdrop. If you don't have the paper and stuff I use for the backdrop, you can use a sheet or any other kind of stand you can make. Something you can put just against the wall would work great. You can even tape a sheet up against the wall, like a flat wall like that. Just tape a sheet up, make sure you hang it straight and pull it tight. But anyway, I'm gonna set up the thing. Let me know what you think. We'll get some pictures taken. I'll be using a cool dog. She's a service dog. She's amazing. So for me, it's gonna be a little easier than some people because the dog will actually listen. Well, somewhat. They're a dog still. They're still an animal. So hang in there, guys. We're gonna do a pet photography. I will talk to you soon. Wait for the video. Hey class, so we got the backdrop set up. You guys can see, I got a little blanket up for the dog. It's a nice little backdrop, little kit. Like I said, you can use a sheet or anything and throw it on the back of a wall and tape it up. This just makes it nice to just roll out backdrops. And we're gonna get those for 4-H too so we can use them in the classroom. The next thing I have to worry about is lighting. I turned the overhead garage light off, the old school, whatever it is, because it's yellow. And I do have a couple white LED lights in here, but it's very, very dark. So next thing I'm gonna do is set up my lighting, kind of have it where I want it, and get my whole thing set up before I even think about bringing a dog in to shoot. So hang on a second, I'll get my lights set up, I'll show what I'm using, and we'll go from there. All right, these are the lights I'm gonna use for the class. These are pretty expensive. You can buy them a lot cheaper. All it is an LED light that controls power, and I can actually, how much I use. It's pretty simple. I press the button on the back. They get bright. That's at 80% and it's still super bright. But all this is gonna use is help light up the dark spots in my images. So I'll set these up prior to the dog getting here and then we'll go from there. But like I said, you can buy them cheaper. They're on Amazon. And like I said, they get super bright. And we're only at 80%. And I still have a 2-hour charge on those things, but they're amazing. So like I said, these are expensive. I want to get this brand. I'd find something cheaper on Amazon. You're looking at 40, 50 bucks a light on Amazon. This is about $100 a light. So just to give you a comparison, buy a cheaper one. If I know what I knew now, I would have bought a cheaper one a while back. All right, class, let's talk about camera. As you know, I'm gonna get a camera set up before I bring a dog in too. So we're gonna make sure all of our manual settings are set up. I'm gonna do a couple of test shoots. I'll turn the lights on, make sure everything looks good, and then I'll talk about settings in just a minute. But however, so what I wanna do for portraits or dog photography, I wanna shoot what we call aperture mode. On the back of my top of my camera, I'm gonna turn it to the A. Yours may be AV. I think if you have a Canon or Nikon, it may be a little different. And the next thing I'm gonna do is my lens. So I recommend if you have a manual lens, you wanna use a 35 to an 85 millimeter lens. This one does 24 to 105. So I have the whole range involved. And 105 is a really sharp zoom. But if you have like just a standard focal length lens, I recommend a 30, 50, or up to 85 max. And then we're gonna shoot aperture. Remember how we talked about aperture shooting bokeh? So it can either be an aperture 4, something of that sort, or 5 when I'm shooting the portrait of the dog. And if I wanna change it, I can make it where everything's more in focus. I just bump that aperture up. Make sure my ISO, I wanna shoot close to 100. If I'm indoors like this, I can go up to like 400, 500, 600, something like that's fine for ISO. So we'll take a look at it here real fast. Excuse me, I'll lay my phone down. So we'll see aperture mode. My camera comes on. I'm gonna F14, I definitely need to make some changes there. So I'm gonna play with the settings just for a minute, set it up, and see what I can come up with. Hang on for a minute, guys. So we are back to shooting the dog. She's sitting right there. She's being, she's kind of on the paper where I need her, but she's also being a puppy, so she doesn't want to listen exactly where she wants to lay. So I'm gonna try to get her up. I'm gonna use treats because dogs are motivated. It could be by a ball or by a treat, but Annie, sit. Right here, come here, right here. Annie.
Place.
Lady, stay there. So she's been there for a minute, so I'm gonna look at my camera because she's doing what I asked her to make sure a decent shot. Now I'm gonna do a different angle because I'm not getting on my back like this. And okay, I'll let her walk just for a second. Let her work for me. So I can reposition her. We're just gonna walk around. Come back and try it again. Where's blanket? Place, sit. Good girl. Sit right there for me. Stay. So she is, like I said, shooting animals is difficult because they don't want to sit still. They want to see what's going on. Even though she's a well-trained dog, she's doing pretty good. Can you sit? Okay. Up. Come on. Sit. Back up. Okay. Back. Where?
Back means stand behind you, by the way.
Oh, well, yeah. Sit. Sit.
She knows about 90 commands, so sometimes we forget them.
We do, because she has so many. Annie, can you sit? Sit.
Sit. Cool. Stubborn.
You never think about it. Come here. Let her walk for a second. Let her reset. Okay. On the way.
It's kind of like working with children.
It is. So dogs are not easy. Come here. I call it a
Annie, sit.
good girl.
Also understanding that sitting can be bad on their hips. So
I try to put a blanket down so it's a little more comfortable.
look at that face.
And it's a little blurry. So maybe I'll get down like this. Ooh. And I'm just changing the position I am in. Because sometimes it's easier for me to move than it is to keep moving the dog. We're gonna try to do some tricky lighting here. This is where nice to have a light stand, but I don't have one. So let's do this. So what I did is I put my timer on just for a second. I get the dog in focus, and I can move my light. So I can light her up. You can see the difference in the camera if you can see the screen at all. There's light. Look at no light, what the difference is. So I can always move my light like this. There. Turn that timer back off now that I moved the light. All right, so that's a few shots we're doing with her. Nothing crazy. I may take a few more off camera just so I can work with the dog and not worry about the video. But she's done really good so far. I'm gonna shoot a couple more where she's at. But I'm gonna shut the video off for now. I'll get back to you guys in just a second.